John's Crazy Socks?
We started way back 2016. I'm in school at that point.
What school were you
I
at?
went to a Hudson High School, and I split my time in the Wilmington Tech program.
So if you have a disability, you can stay in the school system until you turn 21. So John was in his last year of school, and that's sometimes known as the 21-year-old cliff, because school ends, and then what are you going to do? And what were you looking at?
I look at job, program, and school.
So he's looking around to see, what am I going to do? Not too different than what you guys are going to wind up doing.
Yeah.
What do I do next? Did you like what you saw?
I don't.
No. And that's the reality. There aren't a lot of great opportunities for people with different abilities. But John here, he's a natural entrepreneur. Because instead of seeing that as a problem, he turned it into an opportunity.
Yes.
So if he couldn't find something he wanted to do, he would make it. What'd you tell me?
I said I want to go into dinner with my dad.
That seemed like a good idea, right?
I did that.
Then we had to come up with an idea for the business. So what was your first idea?
I first idea a fun store.
A fun store. You have any idea what we'd sell in a fun store?
I don't know that.
No. Just kept walking around. We could have a fun store.
Yes.
What was your next idea?
I want to open a food truck. I come up idea from the movie Chef, John Favreau, a really good movie.
Right? Father-son business running a food truck. And that seemed like a fun idea. We thought we could do it. But we ran into a problem.
We can't cook.
Yeah. But then what do you say?
I said, I want to start Crazy Sock. Why sock is fun, colorful, I love be creative, and always have it be me. I want Crazy Sock my entire life.
That seemed like a good idea. And if John likes socks that much, we thought there must be other people out there too. So we set up, you had the name for the business.
I did.
And what we did was go the lean startup route. Instead of spending a lot of time doing analysis and prepping, our idea was, let's just get something up and see how people respond. So we built a website,
Right.
got some inventory. The only marketing we did, we were bootstrapped and we didn't have a lot of resources. So for marketing, took out my cell phone, we made videos. And who was in the videos?
I am.
Right. What were you talking about?
I talk about socks.
Right? Even came up with a catchphrase.
Yes. Socks, more socks.
And what day did we open?
We opened on Friday, December 9th, 2016.
And we didn't know what was going to happen, but we were very fortunate. We got a lot of orders. And where do we live? What's our town?
Huntington, New York, in Long Island.
Right. So most of the orders were local, which made sense. Right? John was in the local high school. We lived here. We had temporary office space in Huntington Village. And what did we do with those first orders?
Our first order we did a home deliveries.
So we decided that we'd personally deliver these. We got red boxes, put the socks in the boxes. What else did we put in?
We put in a sticky note I wrote, and I put in candy.
John would write handwritten thank you notes. We put candy in, loaded up the car, and drove around and delivered them. Right?
We did.
How'd the customers respond?
Customers loved it, and it was great.
Right? And then what'd they do? They took pictures, they shared on social media, and the business began to grow. So that's how we got started.
How many different socks do you guys sell?
We sell 2,300 different kind of juices.
Wow.
2,300. And now what else we have? We have masks.
Masks, we have giving boxes and bags. We have Second Month Club.
Right.
And greeting cards.
Greeting cards. Right? And the greeting cards, who's designed them?
I designed greeting cards, and some of my colleagues, my police, designed too.
Right? They're all designed by people with different abilities.
Yes.
That's
so
great.
cool.
Was it scary to start your own business?
No, it's not good to me because I like running my own business because I do something fun because I like working with my dad, my police, and
Nothing scary, right? It
no
was
scary.
once we had the idea, it was we're going to go test it. And we recognize it could have failed. Um, and so what? If it failed, then we do something else.
Right.
Then we go back to the food truck, learn how to cook.
So, what's it like working with your family?
I like working with my family. This is one of family businesses. I like working with my dad, and it's fun working together. I'm my partner, and I never do without my dad.
We do a lot together, right?
I
Lenny?
love doing together.
But you do a lot of stuff on your own too, right?
I did.
You got a lot of responsibilities. So.
I do because I am a leader. I head of the business because I am the face of a company.
You're the face of the company. What's your title?
My title is Chief Happiness Officer.
Chief Happiness.
That's a very important
great
position.
title.
So, how has the business changed your life?
Well, it's kind of changed everything. Now we work together. I'm not doing anything else. We're running this business.
Right.
So we get to work together. We do a lot of, well, before the pandemic, we did a lot of traveling for speaking engagements. We're busy. You know, here it is a weekend. We had 2 events this weekend. We're doing this interview. We spoke earlier today at a virtual buddy walk in Utah. It's changed a lot of things, right?
It's a lot.
And now your mom works with us.
Yes, my mom.
Right? We're keeping her off the streets and out of trouble.
Yes. Cause.
What hours do you guys work?
Well, you know, you're an entrepreneur, you're going to work a lot of hours, but we usually get to the office between 8:30 and 9.
Yep.
We'll leave 6:30, and then we have things to do at night. So we usually, like this past week, we had Monday night, we had 2 events. We do a Facebook Live show on Monday and Thursday nights. And then Monday, after our Facebook Live, we had a prep meeting for the event we did this morning. Wednesday night, we spoke at a ceremony at a local hospital, Good Samaritan Hospital, where we presented a $24,000 check, a donation we were making for COVID-19 relief for frontline workers. So let's see, Monday night, Tuesday night, you had some things with Special Olympics. Wednesday night, we had that event. Thursday night, we had the Facebook Live show.
Yeah.
Friday night, we didn't have anything, but today we've had 2 events today. So we work a lot, but you like it, don't you?
I love it. It's wonderful.
That's great. That's great. What's the Facebook Live show?
A Facebook Club show is Spreading Happiness show because we want to talk other people. I know what we are up to.
So what's our mission, Pat?
Our mission is spread happiness.
And then during the pandemic, when people have been home and, you know, a lot of bad news and a lot of people struggling, we thought our mission spread happiness. So we get on and twice a week, we host the Spreading Happiness show, and that's what we try to do.
I love it.
And turns out a lot of people like to check in, so that's good stuff,
It
right?
gotta be good.
How has your business been doing during COVID?
Oh, COVID has been bad for our business. You know, it's cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's hurt a lot of businesses. But we've responded. You know, the first thing that matters is safety. So we've put in place pretty rigorous safety programs so that we could bring our colleagues back to work. We have 23 employees, 19 of whom have a differing ability. So it's important that they be able to work, and work is very social for them. But we have to make sure people are safe. But we've done a lot of things to adapt to the challenges of the virus and look for opportunities to serve others. So we have been giving tours to high schools and social service agencies. We moved all of those online. We've done speaking engagements. So we've spoken across Canada, the US, Mexico. We're part of the State Department Speakers Bureau. Now we do speaking engagements online. We started the Spreading Happiness show.
Right.
Every Tuesday afternoon, what do you do?
Every Tuesday afternoon, I'm holding a dance party at 6 o'clock Eastern time.
3 o'clock Eastern time, John hosts an online dance party.
Yeah.
We wanted to say thank you to the frontline healthcare workers.
Yeah.
So we created healthcare superhero socks. And it's our way of saying thank you and paying tribute. And they raise money for COVID-19 relief. So we've raised over $40,000.
Oh, wow.
The Good Samaritan Hospital and the American Nurses Federation for their American Nurses Foundation. We've done that. And now we've introduced a new program to work with nonprofits, a charity fundraising program where we work with nonprofits to help them raise money. The way that works, we give them a charity code, a discount code to use in our store. When they give that to their supporters, when one of their supporters uses that code, they get a free gift, and we donate 10% of that sale to the charity. So a lot of charities are having difficulty raising money now. You know, the gala events I do are wiped out, the road races, the walks, the golf tournaments, they've all been wiped out. This is a way, a remote and touchless way for them to raise money. So we're always adapting to what we can do because of COVID.
So how successful is your business?
Well, let's measure it.
Yeah,
You know,
I want to measure it.
Let's look at how you can measure the success. You know, first, we want to create jobs. So we've created 23 jobs, and we've created, and like we said, 19 of those are held by people with different abilities. During the holidays, we'll have as many as 70 employees. So we're creating jobs for people. We want to show the world what people with different abilities can do. So we want to reach people. We've shipped to over 80 countries.
Yeah.
The videos we make have been seen over 10 million times of showing people what they can do. Videos about us by places like CBS Evening News and the BBC and the Mighty, they have over 70 million views. So we're reaching people. We want to have happy customers. We have over 27,000 online reviews, and 94% of those are 5-star reviews.
Wow, that's great.
We want to raise money for our charity partners and give back. So we've raised over $375,000. And now in a little more than 3 years, we've shipped more than a quarter million orders and earned over $10 million in revenue.
Wow.
So things look good. It's been uneven. It's been challenging. We've had struggles. But the biggest thing is the impact that we get to have at a personal level, right? You get to touch people. So John here has testified twice before the U.S. Congress and spoken with the United Nations, right? But I mean, I'll give you a couple of anecdotes about people we work with. There's Thomas. So we do our own fulfillment, right? If you sell online, you have to fulfill orders. You can call it a pick and pack warehouse. Orders come in, you pick the order, you pack it, you send it out. We do same day shipping, right?
Right.
And we call our pickers sock wranglers. So Thomas is one of our sock wranglers. And his mom started calling us back in October of 2017 saying, look, you have to hire my son. We said, well, we're not hiring right now, but we'll be glad to consider it when we are. Tell us about Thomas. she said, well, Thomas is a young man around John's age on the autism spectrum. He's fairly nonverbal, and he's in a bad way. He's very depressed. We have trouble getting him to come out of his room. He doesn't want to shower or shave. And he hasn't spoken to his father in over 6 months. We can't get him to join any programs. Oh, sounds like a great employee. Well, when we had an opening, we called him up and said, bring Thomas out. And we don't give out jobs. Everybody who works for us has earned their job. Thomas took his training in ADA, passed the sock wrangler test. He did with flying colors, as if he was put on this earth to do nothing more than pick socks. Today, Thomas is showered and shaved and waiting for his father to drive him to work. And they drive an hour each way. And when he comes in, Thomas, who would never look at anybody or speak to anybody, goes around and says good morning to everybody.
That's amazing.
So, and we did nothing. All we did was give him the opportunity to earn a job. We get to see things like that all the time.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yes, that'd be good. I love that.
Can you share why it's so important for everyone in the world to hire people with different abilities?
Well, look, everybody deserves an opportunity, and we agree with the National Down Syndrome Society. Employment is a basic human right. Everybody has a right to be able to work. That doesn't mean you can go and not work hard or screw up. But as a business person, what we're trying to do all the time is show people it's not just altruism. That hiring people with differing abilities is good business. We can measure it. It improves productivity. It improves morale. It improves retention. People don't leave. And it helps us recruit people. It gives us a business advantage over other companies. And it's changed a little bit during the pandemic, but a lot of employers say they can't find people, they can't find good employees. And yet, what do we have? We tap into this great labor pool of people with different abilities. And here's the terrible thing. Almost 80% of people with a disability in this country are unemployed. That was before the pandemic. So we have this great untapped pool of labor, this great national resource. The businesses that tap into it will have an advantage over other businesses.
That's great. So I hear you donate to the Special Olympics. Why did you pick that organization?
Why the Special Olympics?
I am Special Olympic athlete because I am.
What sports do you play?
I play basketball, track and field, soccer, and snowshoe.
Right. And you've been doing it. When did you start playing soccer?
I started when I 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
You've learned teamwork,
Yes, I
discipline,
Yep.
coaching.
Yeah, and discipline.
Without the Special Olympics, there would be no John's Crazy Socks.
Right.
So we're very grateful.
What impact has your company had on others?
Well, we give you the example of Thomas. Here are things that we like. We get to see it with the people we work with. Get to set examples. Here's one. A teacher at a local high school contacted us after coming for a tour. And she said there was a student in the class who they had difficulty reaching, but the day after the tour, he showed up in school and he had printed out a picture of him and John together. And he went up and he handed it to the teacher and said, "You see, I can do anything."
That's awesome. That's great.
We've heard from other businesses that said, like H-Bomb Ties,
Right.
that said they started because they saw John's business.
Wow.
We've now started an organization called Entrepreneurs with Abilities. And that's bringing together entrepreneurs with a different ability so that we can share resources and companies that work with people with differing abilities. So we're able to help those businesses. We just put out a Down syndrome super box. It has 21 items from entrepreneurs with Down syndrome. So we've been very fortunate to be able to reach and touch people. And that creates an obligation for us to be able to go and do more. Should we tell them the Nancy Pelosi story?
Sure, Dad.
So we're down in Washington, and this is where we get an opportunity, but we have to take advantage of the opportunity. We're down in Washington, and today we were testifying before the House Small Business Committee, and a customer calls our office and says, listen, I see that Mark and John are on Capitol Hill. My mother works on Capitol Hill, and she's a really big fan of John and would like to meet John. Could we make that happen? Sure. Send us her information. We'll find out who Mom is and contact her. Well, Mom turns out to be Nancy Pelosi.
Wow.
So we get to go and we meet with Ms. Pelosi and a couple of her staff. And she's very nice, right? You know, she's a grandmother. And she brings out pictures of socks that she had given to former President Bush, George H.W. Bush. And John, somewhat now famously, had become sock buddies with the former president, and they used to exchange socks. So this was very nice. But then what do? It's an opportunity, right? We say, well, excuse us, but we need to talk to you about eliminating the sub-minimum wage, which allows employers to pay people with a disability less than minimum wage. So there are 400,000 people in this country being paid as little as 5 cents an hour.
Wow.
So we get these opportunities, then we have to take advantage. We have to use that. That's a responsibility, an obligation we have, right?
Yeah.
There are 3 coffee samples. There are 2 dog treat samples. There's a cinch bag. There's a mask. There are socks. There are greeting cards. There are note cards. There's lots of different things. And it's sold out. We're going to put 200 more for sale. It's really done as a showcase. But we're going to be introducing a series of products of entrepreneur with Down syndrome gift packs. So one of them is going to have dog treats and dog socks. One of them is going to have coffee samplers from 3 different companies and some theme socks. We're matching socks with ties from H-Bomb Ties.
Yes.
So those are some of the packages put together. And then we'll have a new holiday Down syndrome super box. We don't know what will go in that yet.
So, John, what did you study in high school?
I studied life skills in high school, and in my time, I went to a Wilson Tech program. It's Western Boosies.
It's a tech school.
Yeah,
regional tech school.
And I studied a retailing class.
Retailing. Turned out to be fortuitous.
Yes.
Yes, really. Is there anything you want to share about having Down syndrome?
What do you say about Down syndrome?
I said, I have Down syndrome. Down syndrome and never hold me back.
It's
great.
It's part of what we share with folks. We talk about hope and we talk about possibilities. So when John was born, we did not know that he would have Down syndrome. So that was a big shock. And you may not know this, but people born with Down syndrome frequently, almost all the time, have some significant medical issues. About 50% are born with heart defects. So John had some very serious health defects. On day 3 of his life, he had intestinal bypass surgery. We didn't know if he was going to make it. We had a priest come in the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, and baptize him because we didn't know if he would make it. And before he was 3 months old, he had open heart surgery because he had 2 holes in his heart and a problem with a valve. We didn't know if he'd get off the operating table. And so you ask yourself, what chance did that child have? He had serious health issues. He's got Down syndrome. What could he do? And yet here he is.
Yeah.
Here he is, out to change the world, right?
Yes,
He's a sock tycoon.
Yeah.
He's stand up and testified before Congress and speaking at the UN and appearing on TV and showing, look what's possible.
Absolutely.
Look what you can do. What advice do you always give people?
My advice: follow your heart, follow your dream, so you can do. Work hard.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Is there anything inspirational you'd like to tell other people with Down syndrome?
It's sharing the life, right?
Absolutely, Dad.
You're always showing what's possible, right?
Yes, Dad.
Sometimes it's in small ways. In the summer of 2017, we participated in a business accelerator program called Mass Challenge. It was based in Boston, and we're on Long Island in New York. We're outside of New York City. So we would go up there 2 days a week. We'd drive up on Monday nights and usually get up to around midnight. We'd spend Tuesday and Wednesday there and then drive back on Wednesday nights. Well, on one particular Tuesday, John had a doctor's appointment in the morning in New York. But we had a television appearance in Boston that night. So what's John going to do? What'd you do?
I said I took a train up there. I took an Amtrak up
took
to
Amtrak.
Boston.
And, right, that's
It's
what you do. You
wonderful.
hop on the train, and he went by himself. And then what do? We make a little video of John talking about how he took the train to Boston by himself.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's little things like that, just to show, of course I can do this.
Exactly. What do you guys do for fun outside of work?
What do we do for fun?
Something fun.
Well, dancing,
Yeah, there's I like that.
right? We like music a lot. We
Yeah.
go hiking.
Well, I like hiking.
You like hiking?
And
We root for the Mets
yeah.
and the Jets. And what's that mean?
Oh, we're gonna learn how to be a suffer.
We know how to suffer. So we're busy. John does Special Olympics, so that keeps him busy.
I do all the time.
Right? So we got a lot of things going on.
Yes.
Yeah.